What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, and we're ready to get out on episode 25, Way of Life Live. How goes it tonight, Mungus?
It goes. You can tell I wrote that whole get out thing because I could definitely use getting out of multiple things, like the podcast, work, all that good stuff. How are you?
I took a nap that went longer than I had planned, but I managed to work around it.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah, sometimes when, I only wanted a nap for like an hour, and then I finally woke up and it was like, oh, that was 2 hours.
Yeah, yesterday I wanted to nap for 5 hours, and by nap I just wanted to get some sleep in general because I deprive myself constantly. And so I wanted 5 hours, ended up 7, and then fell asleep another hour later on. So I, by all accounts, should be good for today, but I'm still pretty tired.
Yeah, I was Friday and then Monday I worked very long days, both days, and it took me a little time to just catch up. I was completely thrashed on Monday, and then yesterday I ended up going to bed a little earlier than normal, and then I came home today just completely wiped out. I don't know why though.
Yeah, I think what you just said was, I guess the long and short of it, it catches up to you. It gets to that point where you're just like, okay, I just need a week in bed and I'll be good after that.
Yeah, a week in bed. That does sound good.
Oh yeah, seriously. After the week I had last week, I was like, maybe I should just cut out this week entirely and enjoy myself. But I have the weekend off, so I've got that to look forward to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it might be the thing going forward because my availability is a little weird and they change things around. So, knock on wood.
All right, not bad. So, what do we got to talk about right now?
We got a few things.
Right now, I am in the midst of working on a very special event for Dead Entertainment. I'm hoping it's actually going to be starting in a couple days.
Oh, really? Are that far along?
Yeah, I am nearly done with my 4th piece. I found the copy of the last thing I needed, so I have everything now. I have everything I need. I'm just about done with the 4th piece. Depending on how I feel after stream, I may start on the 5th. And then that leaves me like 2 or 3 days to get the last 2 done. So it's very, very within my grasp of finishing up before Saturday.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Tell them what it's about.
So, a lot of you may not know this. In fact, only a handful of people know this. I have a very, I guess you would say, obsession. But it's not like I have her posters and pictures all over my wall. They're
not yet.
They're neatly arranged in a scrapbook. I have a obsession with the actress Angela Bettis. Now, if you're not familiar with who this actress is, shame on you, first of all. And go find some of her stuff. But if you're uncertain, just wait a couple more days. Basically what I'm doing is she got horror fame from a movie called May. It's the movie she's most known for, but she's been in a lot of other stuff too. And what I'm doing is I'm doing an event that I have named 7 Days of May in May. And what I'm doing is an overview of one of her movies every day for 7 days. I'm kind of doing a pseudo review on the movie, plus a overall performance review of Angela herself, because she is a very versatile actress, and a lot of people don't know that. So this is going to be a way to get a very talented actress a little bit more exposure, I guess you could say, especially for people who may not know that she was in other things other than May. So that is what I am currently working on this month for Den Entertainment.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We basically started to introduce themes to I guess follow and give, I guess, a little spice to the month. So this particular month was meant to be more women oriented, and you just kind of took the whole Angela Bettis thing and ran with it to the point where it's like a legitimately amazing concept. Just, I mean, obviously it's fitting May, but you have a real passion for her as an actress, and not only do you appreciate her as an actress, but you could respect her as a director, as a writer, and just a creative force in general. So I think that's pretty cool that we're going to be showcasing something, and it really opens up the doors for future actors and actresses. We all have those actors and actresses that we're just completely in love with. Like, from a filmmaker perspective, I'm a huge fan of Edgar Wright. If you don't know who that is, that's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, Edgar Wright. But it's really cool that this opens the door for us to kind of like put a spotlight on individuals rather than just blanket an entire like sex or an entire genre or an entire craft. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can see if this event does well on the site, I could see myself doing more of these events and other writers possibly jumping on and doing similar events for other actors and actresses, directors, anything of the sort. So it's just, here's hoping that you guys out there who are reading this stuff appreciate what I'm trying to do here, and a lot of the work and time that I've put into this event. I'm basically rewatching all of these movies that I'm going to be showcasing for 7 days, and just honing in specifically on Angela's performance throughout the movies and critiquing them and almost breaking them down, just to showcase just how versatile she really is and just how special of an actress she is. There are a lot of good movies I'm showcasing. There was one that just didn't hold up as well as I remembered because it had been a very long time since I watched it. But more on that when these pieces start getting released in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. And one thing that I like the most about this is that, like you said before, these are movies that might not be as well known or maybe just heard about in passing. And one of the best ways to get into different movies and things like that is to basically kind of hear it from a fan perspective, just to somebody that bleeds it, like hear them talk about a movie or a performance or something like that really opens up somebody's eyes. It excites somebody in a way. They start to see it through your eyes, and then they all the more want to check it out. So I think this is going to do very well for people that might not be familiar with her.
Yeah, exactly. It's as I said, most people who are familiar with the name Angela Bettis or immediately, link it to May, and obviously that was her biggest movie. It's one of her best movies, but they may not know about some of her other stuff. They may not know about the fact that she played Carrie in a remake of Carrie, which happens to be one of the movies I'm going to be showcasing. I'm not going to announce any of the others. I'll let you guys wait and see for that. But Carrie was a big movie. It's a horror legend, and she played the character surprisingly well. So, I basically what I'm hoping is when people read some of these pieces, they go out and try to find these movies. Obviously Amazon has all of them. Amazon Prime Video actually has one or two of them available right now. So if you have Prime, you'll be able to actually watch them. And the rest can be found elsewhere. So a few more days and we'll start getting into this event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So, also, this week, for anyone who doesn't know, we will be doing our next Dead Entertainment live commentary. Very, very cool. We enjoy this a lot. Should we announce what movie we're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Well, a couple of days ago, I had announced on our Twitter that we were watching a Lucio Fulci movie. And I'm sure anybody who saw that was probably guessing, probably thinking, oh, they're going to watch Zombie. Zombie's a great movie. I love Zombie. Zombie versus Shark.
Classic.
Exactly. But we have decided to go with, somehow, I was going to be okay no matter what movie we picked, but somehow we decided on my favorite Fulci film, City of the Living Dead, otherwise known as Gates of Hell. So that is going to be a lot of fun. That movie has one of the best soundtracks ever in a horror film. The immortal Frizzy did the score for that movie, as he's done for many, 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 many other Italian horror films.
I swear, his work in Italian cinema is just unmatched. Like some of the music that he puts out in these movies is just, I don't know. It's like Danny Elfman iconic. You know what I mean? He hits him hard every time he goes to bat. So I'm sure we're going to be talking plenty about the music within the commentary, but at the same time, City of the Living Dead is fucking awesome. It's a hell of a movie, and one that we, I guess the one that's become a staple in our repertoire over the years.
It really has. I mean, it's got great scenes, and as I said, the score is just so memorable. And how do you go wrong with ridiculously powerful teleporting zombies? You don't. You just don't go wrong with it.
Exactly, and I think I got some beer so we could take shots every time there's a, what is it, Schlitz or something? Every time that's in the background, the neon signs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we were considering doing Zombie. I know The Beyond was another consideration, but we ultimately decided to go with Gates of Hell. And yeah, so that will be this Friday, 8 p.m. I don't know who's going to be joining us yet, but it'll be me, Mungus, and I'm hoping at least 2 other people. So
as far as right now, I know that Joe, who writes for the awesome reviews on the website, should be there. He confirmed it earlier this week, but I don't know if anything changed. But as of right now, it's going to be the 3 of us, and we're going to be possibly bringing 1 or 2 more.
Very, very cool.
That's going to be on the Dead Entertainment channel. So if you don't subscribe to that, head over to deadentertainment.com and click the YouTube icon and subscribe, because we are going live this Friday.
Indeed. All right. So I think that's it. I think we're ready to start jumping into horror news, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so here we go into this week's horror news. I am so going to redo that bumper so it is not as loud as it is. I don't know why that one came out so loud.
Hey, man, there's only one way to listen to that song, and it's loud.
I guess that is true. It is that good of a song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites on that album.
All right, so first up on horror news this week is is it really FX? They're doing this series?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least.
Ah, that's pretty cool to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know they picked a network. FX is moving forward with the What We Do in the Shadows TV series. Looks like we're going to be getting 10 half-hour episodes with a 2019 debut planned. If you guys haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows yet, please seek it out. It is a wonderful vampire mockumentary done by the now director of Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi.
Best name to say ever.
Yeah, it really is. Taika basically really got his fame from this movie. It's just a fantastic... In fact, go seek out most of Taika's films. They're just unreal how good they are. I mean, this guy might be one of the best directors we have on the planet right now, and writer, and actor. He always plugs himself into his own movies, and he has the best roles. I mean, if you guys have seen Thor Ragnarok, he played the character of Korg, who, like, let's face it, was the best character in the movie.
Absolutely steals the show. And he doesn't plug himself into the movies in this weird way where he tries to be front and center. He has a very low-key and toned-down toned-down character that somehow manages to take on the entire production for whatever reason. Like he shines like very brightly, and I know, like I said before, it just steals it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem overly awkward when he's in his films, like, for, say, I don't know, when Quentin Tarantino injects himself into all his movies. You know, some of his parts are okay, they work. Some of them just seem a little forced.
Yeah, as a huge Tarantino fan, I'll have to agree there. There's ones that he just fits in seamlessly, like Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, that's a great one.
He was real solid in that. He walked the line on Death Proof, you know. I like Warren as a character, but he was definitely, he stuck out like a sore thumb to some degree.
A little bit, but I think it can be forgiven just because of how good Death Proof is overall. Plus, it's my favorite Tarantino film, so I'll forgive his intrusion. All right.
Yes. Let's get a bad one. I would say this is not his film, but Planet Terror. He was.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh boy.
Oh
yeah.
God. Oh, good Lord.
hilarious, but definitely awful.
I don't know if it was the dialogue written for him or just his delivery of it. It was bad. Oh God. So, What We Do in the Shadows. I had seen this movie a couple years back before anybody in my horror circles had seen it, and I remember it was coming on, and I thought it was going to be a stupid movie, but it was one of those nights where I was watching TV, and the remote either got wedged in the couch or it fell off the couch, and I was too lazy to go down and pick it up to change the channel, and I'm watching it, and I'm just absolutely rolling. I'm dying. And from that point forward, I absolutely like it became one of my favorite films. I told Mungus about it.
It was like pulling teeth to get me to watch it. To be fair, when you recommend anything to me, like at any time, I have probably 100 movies and 100 episodes of television to watch. So I'm like, yeah, one day when I'm like 60 and long retired.
A troll hunter.
Exactly. The perfect example. You've been telling me to watch that for like 2 years now. But finally, it was one of those nights. I had bought it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me put it on. Let me see how it is. And my God, it shot like, I think it's up there with some of my favorite comedies.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I think it's probably within my top 10.
Yeah, it is that good. All the characters are so likable. The overall story and tone of it is just it's beautiful. It's everything you want in a good mockumentary film. It's like, imagine you took The Office, Borat, and I don't know, I guess what would be another good one to throw in there?
Not sure, to be perfectly honest, but
it's a good mixture.
Those nail it, you know?
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, check it out. They're actually also working on a spin-off movie from other characters in it. Werewolf characters, and I believe the movie they're calling it Werewolves.
No, it's called Werewolves.
Oh, Werewolves, okay.
One of the best names ever. Like, I get giddy over it every time I hear it. It's called Werewolves.
So yeah, so we're getting 2 spin-offs from this movie, and I can't wait. I hope we get a returning cast of all the characters in the TV series.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least they're in it to some capacity, you know, whether it be cameos. It's going to be really tough to fill the main roles by anybody that other than people that played him in the original. But with Taika on board to, I guess, oversee the production and everything like that, I think it's in good hands. So I'm looking forward to that. And they're also going to be putting out a television show that's spinning off from the movie, which is going to be
about the cops.
Yeah, a New Zealand production, and it's called the Wellington Paranormal, which is the cop scenes were hilarious. So that's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that was in the works to some degree. So yeah, guys, definitely go seek out that movie, What We Do in the Shadows. It's definitely a Bates recommendation. Very funny, just fantastic all around, especially if you happen to like New Zealand humor. I don't know what exactly New Zealand humor is, but I'm sure this movie is chock full of it, and it's great.
Yeah, I could have said it better myself.
Almost all of Taika's films have New Zealand injected in it, because I mean that's where he's from. That's where he does the most of the filming for his films, and it works so wonderfully. If I would also recommend Hunt for the Wilder People. It's not a horror of any sort, but it's another Taika Waititi film, and it's absolutely amazing. And the main character in that film, his character's name is Ricky Baker. You're actually going to see lots of this kid, the actor anyway, I forget his name, but you're going to see a lot of this kid in Deadpool 2. He plays the little chubby kid that Deadpool's trying to protect in Deadpool 2.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I still haven't watched that either, but it's one of these days I'm getting to it.
Yeah. That kid starred in Hunt for the Wilder People.
Right on.
So yes, definitely looking forward to anything What We Do in the Shadows related. See it, you guys will not regret it. All right, moving on. Next piece of news. What do we got here? The Purge TV series. It looks like it's going to be starring Fiona Dourif, which, yes, is the daughter of Chucky voice actor Brad Dourif. That's a pretty big name to get.
Yeah, without a doubt. And coming hot off of the Curse and Cult of Chucky, that in general is just, an incredible get. If you've seen those 2 movies, you know the type of caliber of actress that she is. And I think that she was a relative newcomer when she landed the role of Curse, right?
Yes. I don't really believe she had been in anything of note, if anything at all. And she really, really, impressed me in Curse.
Yeah, and I'm not going to spoil anything here, but she managed to exceed expectations beyond Curse in Cult, because she had to play I don't know how to say this, but like she had multiple jobs to play in Cult of Chucky. So let me just put it that way. And she really shows off her acting chops there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's what's really crazy is I knew The Purge was somewhat of a successful and pseudo-popular franchise. I never thought it would garner a fucking TV series. So, right on. I'm not really a fan of the series, but I'm a fan of any horror franchise that's able to spawn a TV show.
Yeah, it seems like Blumhouse Productions is pretty much doing anything they want these days, and rightfully so. They're one of the companies that are putting out probably some of the best horror out there, the best original horror on top of it. So, if they want to put The Purge into a television format, more power to them.
Yeah, Blumhouse has gotten a lot of hits, but they've also gotten a couple of recent misses. But they're not letting that, get them down. They're just pushing forward, and we're going to be getting Halloween soon. We should be getting a trailer very soon.
Yeah, it looks that way. From what I've read, it should be within the next month. Originally, it was going to be a few months, but the popularity of all the trailer descriptions from CinemaCon just took Blumhouse by storm. So they're supposedly fast tracking it. So it could be interesting.
Just to go off slight topic for a quick second, speaking of trailers, it looks like we'll be getting a trailer for The Predator tomorrow. So guys, keep an eye out for that if you're interested in that movie.
Oh, I had no idea that was coming. I'm looking forward to that too.
We got some teasers, some teaser announcement earlier that makes it sound like we're getting a trailer tomorrow. So just be on the lookout for that, guys. But Purge TV series, it could be good, but it could also get real boring real quick. I mean, from what I know, The Purge is a 12-hour event that happens once a year. Is a whole season just going to be one 12-hour day, played off like each episode is an hour?
You probably could bookend it in a way where, the preparation and the normal lives are leading up to the Purge moment. You could probably tell it in a way where the pressure's slowly building, because I can imagine, a week before the Purge night, they would have some sort of build up. A lot of people would probably be on the edge of their seats just looking to, get out that pent up aggression. And I think they could really frame it in an interesting way where you see a little bit of both worlds. And then they possibly could just do what you just said, a full on 12 hours for an entire season. And it doesn't seem like this is going to be a horribly long series. It's not going to be like a syndicated television show where you get 23 episodes. This is probably going to fall more in the lines of a 10, 12 episode sort of deal. So, we'll see how it goes, but there's a lot of interesting ways that they could go with it.
I don't know if it's ever been touched on in the movie, because I think I've only really seen the first one, and I kind of really lost interest halfway through it, so I don't remember much of it. But I think it might be kind of cool if they dove into the politics behind the Purge in this TV show. Give us a lot more background on it.
They did touch upon that a little bit in, I think, part 2 and 3, maybe just one of them. I don't remember offhand. I still have to see Election Night, which I assume might have some politics involved in it.
Yeah, I assume that they at least, touched on the whole how it started to begin with, but I think, with a TV series, they'll really be able to dedicate a lot of time to it, and I would assume that that'd be something cool fans would like to see.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, television pretty much breaks down everything you could possibly want to know about, a given subject, whatever they're working on. And that's the beauty of TV. It's not only is it popular these days, we're living in a golden age of horror television, regular television. But on top of that, you're able to take your sweet time and explain everything. There's no 2-3 hour cap where people are going to get bored, because you can kind of tune in every week for an hour. It's a great format for a show like this.
Yeah, I see it definitely doing well, but I don't know how much material they're going to be able to squeeze out of this franchise for multiple seasons. That's my only concern there.
Hey, The Walking Dead's been doing it for 9 seasons, 8 seasons.
And how many of those seasons are good seasons?
I mean, that's a whole nother subject, to be perfectly honest. But the good thing is The Purge is just entering their first season, so there's a lot of promise. We'll get back to it when it gets season 9.
Well, we'll get back to it once we get some details on what season 1 is going to entail.
Right on.
All right, moving on. The director of the Evil Dead remake movie asks fans what he should do next. And, well, I don't think it was really a surprise to anybody, but pretty sure Evil Dead 2 won, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He had three options: Evil Dead 2, which would be a sequel to the remake; Don't Breathe 2, and Don't Breathe, if you haven't seen it, it was very well received, very well written, very well directed. Just a very intense movie. So it's no stranger to the horror fans or anything like that. Finally, the last one was stop making movies, which I thought was a funny touch. That stop making movies got 10% of the votes, 20% went to Don't Breathe 2, and a whopping 70% of the votes went to Evil Dead 2, which is, are we really surprised? Right after Ash versus Evil Dead kind of, like it got taken away from us, whisked away. Of course, fans are going to be like, hey, we want more that. If we can't have Bruce Campbell as Ash, give us Mia as Ash in a way. So when I saw this news, I originally thought, hey, this is kind of non-news. It was just the director, having a little bit of fun on Twitter, whatever. But there could be some merit in here.
Yeah, I guess it would be cool. I'm not going to even try to sit here and bullshit and lie. I was a little bit against the Evil Dead remake. I still have not seen it, just for personal reasons. I think I'm kind of coming around, and I think I want to finally give it a shot since I got my Bruce Campbell Ash fix that I've been wanting for years and years and years. I got the Ash I wanted. I got the Evil Dead I wanted. So I think now that Ash is, Bruce Campbell has retired the character, I think it's okay for me to embrace this Evil Dead remake and finally give it a shot. Mungus talks about it in very high regard, so yeah, it's time.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're coming around to it. I was blown away by it. A lot of people didn't really know what to expect from it, and we were at that weird time with remakes where they were just phoning them in. Like I want to say that came after the Nightmare remake, and everybody at that point was just like, okay, stop fucking with the classics because you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. Thankfully, in this particular case, they had Sam Raimi and Robert Tapert on board to make sure that their baby was unharmed by a relatively unknown director. And Fede Alvarez came hard, and he just destroyed it. He just made a bloody mess of everything. And personally, I'm more of a fan of Evil Dead 1. I'm more of a fan of the dark, demonic stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, but I remember what it felt like to watch Evil Dead for the first time back in the day, and it terrified me when I was younger. So to see them kind of walk down that road again without the humor, I was all for it. And the movie paid off in a big bad way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if this poll turns into something. Like I said before, it could have been just non-news, but the timing is a little too convenient. Ash versus Evil Dead goes off the air, and then the director of Evil Dead remake is just like, hey, what should I do? Wink. It's just too perfect of timing, in my opinion.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bob's your uncle. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's bored and he wants to do another movie. I don't know. He's probably trying to. He's obviously playing it off the fact that we've lost our Evil Dead, so maybe he's really seeing if there's still interest in more Evil Dead.
Yeah, it did pretty well at the box office. So the timing is perfect for it. All the fans are clamoring for Ash or Bruce Campbell to take the show on the road or bring it to another network, even though he retired the character. But if we can't have good old groovy Bruce as Ash, let's move into a territory where it's equal to what we were wanting from Ash versus Evil Dead. So
yeah, let us know in chat what you guys think about this. Would you want an Evil Dead part 2 from the remake? Did you guys like the remake? Let us know what you think.
I'll be in chat arguing with you if you don't like it, because that movie is so good.
All right, let's see, what else do we have in horror news?
One.
Yeah, looks like it. So we're gonna jump in to the headline. Well, yeah, I guess that would be the headlining main discussion for tonight before we get into any geek stuff. So Jordan Peele has announced his follow-up movie to Get Out. It is a movie called Us, and as of right now, all we have gotten is a teaser poster.
Yeah, there's not a lot known about it. We have a teaser poster, we have a release date, and a couple actors and actresses that are in talks to be in the movie. That's about it.
It definitely looks like it's going to be focusing on I don't know how to say this. Like a black community again.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be like a like a social movie again. Like
yeah,
commentary on the way the world is at the moment, just in the same way that as Get Out was. The details that I'm reading is that it takes place in deep suburbia, and it's supposed to center around two couples, one white, one black. So, like, you can't really go off of what exactly this film is going to be, but by the look of the poster, it just, I don't know, it's got this haunting feel to it. Like, seek the poster out if you haven't seen it yet, but like it has this vibe to it that's already really strong, and I don't even know what the movie's about, which is pretty interesting.
I've been looking at this poster, and I like it. I like it a lot. And as I'm looking at it, it reminds me of, like, I don't know, I guess you could say imagery from, like, Civil War era,
Yeah, definitely.
So it's very, very simple, but very powerful stuff. And I really, really like it. It's one of the better teaser posters I've seen in a very long time. Aside from the Halloween teaser that we got recently. But
Yeah.
this one is a bit more powerful. I definitely like it a lot.
It's got a little bit of like a Rorschach test vibe to it too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely can see that. But it's definitely going to be something to look forward to. I mean, Get Out was such a massive movie. Jordan Peele obviously won an Oscar for it. So,
how good does that look on the poster too? The poster's tagline says, "A new nightmare from the mind of Academy Award winner Jordan Peele." I mean, to me, that's just amazing. That reinforces the win for the horror community, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's and they've gotten, they're getting Lupita Nyong'o. Hope I'm saying that.
I'm glad that you decided to take that one, because I was going to butcher her name.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm even saying it right. So, but
yeah, she was in Black Panther, and if I remember correctly, she was in The Force Awakens. No?
Yeah, and what, 12 Years a Slave as well?
Yep, she won an Oscar for that.
So,
and Winston Duke, the badass from Black Panther. I don't remember the character's name, but he was in Black Panther as well as Infinity War.
Did he play?
He was that other tribe.
I think he played M'Baku.
There you go. That's the name.
Who is actually a Black Panther villain in the comics known as Man-Ape.
Oh, right on. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who he played.
Like like thinking back, I remember he was supposed to be in that. Man-Ape was supposed to be in that, but they changed the vibe of him or changed the general look of the character. So that's where my confusion comes from. I'd have to look that up though. But he was an incredible actor in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly who he played. He played M'Baku, who, as I said, is the Black Panther villain, Man-Ape in the comics.
That's exciting. I've seen Black Panther twice now, 3 times, and I didn't know that. And now that I know that he is a potential villain for a sequel, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm hoping that this movie, this Us, is going to be another hit for Jordan Peele. Personally, I'm not overly fond of his comedy stuff. I was never
crazy.
Yeah, and I was never a big fan of Key and Peele. But that's, whatever. What I'm hoping is that he doesn't stick to this social commentary of, I guess, black culture continuously moving forward in his movie career. First one was a hit, and I think this one is going to be pretty good too. He's following up on an amazing movie, so he's gonna have to really dig deep to match its quality. But I just hope it doesn't become a running theme with all of his movies. I obviously I understood it completely with Get Out, again with this one, and it's very relevant to the world we're currently living in. But I think after a couple of movies, it's going to get to a point where it's going to feel stale almost.
You know what, though? In defense of him, he went from a sketch comedy career. He was a comic. And who would have thought he had a movie like Get Out in him? You know what I mean? So to me, that shows that he's really versatile. And like I said, in the time that we're living in right this second, you need to be heavy-handed with the social themes. And by the way Get Out turned out, I think there's no better person to really tackle those themes. And with the versatility in mind, he's going to be able to change with the times as he goes. Not every one of his movies. We only seen one of his movies so far, so I really don't think we're going to see a continued heavy-handed theme to it. You might see it here and there, but I honestly, I respect him enough as a writer and a filmmaker to really be the judge and final call on what he wants to say, within the themes of his films. So I don't think it's going to go to the point where he's just going to be known as that guy. I think that he has enough talent in him to really take the themes and pepper into his movies as needed. With Get Out, I think that theme absolutely needed to be as strong as it was.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
This movie might not even be, in that regard. It might be a little more subtle, more story-oriented rather than a social theme.
Honestly, I kind of hope it follows those same routes as Get Out. I just don't want to see that in every movie he does moving forward. But again, right now, it's such a prominent topic and prominent part of the culture we live in right now that I am all for more awareness in any form being brought to us.
And for me, I'm glad that he's giving a voice to different people that actually have to live through this stuff. And I know that these themes are exaggerated in these type of movies, but it's a reality too. So it's nice to see a filmmaker taking his, I guess, his soapbox or his stage and really doing some good with it, even though it's being, I guess, funneled through a horror movie, which I guess the themes pretty much in real life could be considered a horror to some degree.
Are we sure that it's going to be a straight up horror and not maybe more of a thriller?
I don't like breaking down horror into like little subgenres like that, because then it dances with the whole, oh, that's not a horror movie, that's a psychological thriller, or that's a suspense movie, and it gives power to those assholes that like to take away from horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still consider thriller horror, but
Oh no, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it'll. I don't want to say that Get Out was complete horror. I mean, you could say horror is a reaction to something that really puts fear into you. I consider Jaws a horror movie. You know, maybe many people consider it action or whatever you want to call it, but that's fucking terrifying to me. And I'd imagine the same rings true for the concepts within Get Out.
yeah, yeah, Jaws was most definitely a horror movie. I mean, it plays on uh, human fears. You know, fear of the water, fear of the creatures in the water. It's when you're doing a movie and you're basing it on human emotions in which they're, and things that they fear. There's nothing else you can call that movie but horror.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you could call a movie like that a thriller. You could call a movie like Get Out a thriller. But, at the end of the day, fear is horror. And, to not call a movie like that horror is disrespecting a genre, and a strong one at that. So, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of when people start getting into, oh, it's a thriller, oh, it's that, because it just kind of like, it keeps horror in the closet, like, it's like, oh, you stay there, we're gonna take you out whenever we want to make some money or anything like that, but you're gonna stay that redheaded stepchild that nobody gives a shit about. With Get Out winning an Oscar, like, it legitimizes horror again, and like, in everybody's eyes, not just my own.
Yeah, but you're honing in on those people who consider thriller a completely different genre of horror than horror, rather than a subgenre of horror, like slasher. Slasher is a subgenre. Zombie, monster.
Yeah.
These are all horror subgenres, and in my opinion, thriller is yet another subgenre of horror. But there are people. I know what you're saying. There are people out there who see thriller as a completely different genre.
Exactly, and I guess I'm getting territorial or defensive about it, because it's like, motherfucker, my favorite genre won a fucking Oscar this year. Like, you can't take that away from me. And even those, like, hot takes right after Jordan Peele won the Oscar, it was like, is Get Out really a horror movie? It's like, don't try to take that away from us, motherfucker. That is a flat out horror movie. Walk a day in those type of shoes. Again, the concepts are exaggerated, but break them down to the the minimal level, and walk a day in those shoes, and you tell me that you're not fearful. So, like, like I said before, I get really defensive when you try to call horror something else. Not you, but people in general.
It's funny. I remember reading a lot of those articles. Is Get Out really horror? And I'm responding to the the people who wrote the articles in their Twitter. I'm like, are you really a journalist? Like, are you really a writer? Because you shouldn't be. And the fact that you get paid for this.
That question.
And it's like, the fact that you're getting paid for your dumbass opinion that's not even really opinion. It's just wrong, whatever you're writing. And it's sad. It's sad that we live in a world where shit journalism like that gets rewarded with money.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, I appreciate some articles like that, but when you get to the point where your main goal is to kind of like discredit an entire genre because you like the movie so much you don't want to admit to liking that particular genre, like why does horror still have that stigma? It doesn't make any sense to me. You have movies like Psycho and The Birds and Rosemary's Baby and Get Out, and holy shit, those movies are horror pure and all the way through. Why be embarrassed about the genre? Sure, there's stinkers in every genre, but like, there are classics in the horror genre, and it's been known to make studios money since the dawn of fucking film. So I don't want to hear anything about it.
Hell, if we go back, and I'm talking way back, I'm talking the very beginning of the film industry as we know it, we go back and we look at the first footage of the first thing ever shot. Do you know what it was?
I'm not sure. You'd probably know better than me because good old Gilbert.
No, I don't even think it's ever been brought up on Gilbert's podcast. But if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, I believe the first thing ever filmed was some really weird footage of this weird version of Frankenstein.
Yeah, that I don't know exactly when that was. I want to say like 20s, 30s, maybe earlier. But I actually have that footage. I know what you're talking about.
1910.
Okay.
It was a 16-minute short film.
Yeah, well, that proves my point right there.
I think it was the first thing ever recorded. I could be mistaken, but if not, it's one of the earliest things ever recorded.
Yeah, it's probably more likely that it was one of the earliest, but that just, like it pretty much shows what I'm talking about. The genre has been around since the earliest days of film. It isn't going away anytime soon, no matter how many slashers, how many terrible scarecrow movies, or whatever type of genres or like subgenres you want to talk. It's alive, it's well, and it's always done very good for the studios. So why not embrace it? Why keep trying to put it back into the box of, this weird, embarrassing, you don't want to talk about sort of genre?
Well, you know what? Nothing they can do about it. Horror's here to stay, and every couple of years, people are gonna raise a stink about horror. It happened big time in the '80s, and But where did it get these people? Nowhere. You can raise all the stink you want. Just fucking deal with it.
Exactly, and I'm glad that there's films like Get Out that are breaking the mold, breaking out of that box that people try to put it into, and saying, hey, I'm here to stay, and I'm definitely worth your attention. So much so that the Academy voted for him for Best Picture. So, I mean, there's no more validation that could be sought beyond that, as far as I'm concerned.
The way I see it is this. If I gotta put up with bullshit like the Twilight series, 50 Shades of Grey, and every stupid fucking Tyler Perry movie polluting my movie theaters, you motherfuckers can put up with horror.
Well said.
Fucking boom, mic drop. Like, seriously. If you guys can put out a stupid-ass Medea movie every year that nobody watches, then you guys can't... Nobody can talk shit about horror ever. It's the way it is. Alright.
That was like a main discussion / pressurizing. I like it. We didn't plan for that, but that worked out.
So, yes, we will be getting a follow-up to Get Out. Again, called Us. U.S., that's it. It's the name of the movie. And that's it. We don't know anything about it yet. And we probably not going to get any info for a few months.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a release date. It comes out March 15, 2019. So it'll be here a lot sooner than anyone anticipated. So looking forward to it.
That's going to be a nice little lead up to Avengers 4.
That's right. I mean, we're gonna have some pretty good movies come that time. Once we get over the hump of the new year, we're gonna have quite a slate of movies on the way.
Oh, we still got some good stuff coming out this year, so.
Oh, I know. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself.
Oh, you are getting ahead of yourself. We got plenty of good shit still coming this year.
That's true, but I'm very excited. Like, we're living in a great time for movies.
So before we go ahead and transition over to Geek Comic and all that fun shit, I believe today is an anniversary.
That's true. It's been a while since we've been together. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it is our 25th episode. That's pretty great, right?
Yeah, and I think if you add up all the views from the 24 previous episodes, I think we actually hit 25 views. So
Exactly. Well done.
All right, but no, today is a anniversary in the horror world.
It's got a death
That it is.
curse.
38th, if I remember.
Yep, 38 years to the day that Friday the 13th was released. Means we're 2 years away from the 40th anniversary. Holy fuck.
God, that makes me feel so old.
Maybe by the time the 40th anniversary arrives, we'll have a new movie, right?
It's got a death curse.
I wouldn't get my hopes up. I hope. I want to say that I hope, but I don't know.
I'm waiting for your call, Paramount. I have the treatment ready to go. I have the movie. All right.
I will help you write it. I will quit my job tomorrow. Call us right now. I'm gonna wait.
I have the movie, and you know what? It's not even gonna be big budget. We you guys, movie companies have seen how well low budget horror movies can fucking do. Look at Be Quiet. The movie has like made 30 times more than its budget already.
Quiet Place, you mean?
A Quiet Place, yeah. Sorry.
Be quiet. That's gonna be the name of our upcoming movie.
And it's why more companies aren't reaching out to unique writers and directors and giving them a couple million to make these movies. Just a shot, just a stab in the dark. If it fails, all right, it fails. You're not going to lose that much money. But if it succeeds, fucking, you're going to make A Quiet Place low, like, amounts of money on a budget that, like a Marvel movie would fucking spend in 6 hours to make.
I have a theory about this. And I want to say that it's overhead at this point, and that's why we haven't seen anything. Legal bullshit aside, they drug their feet way too long on the Friday the 13th franchise. And I think when you consider whatever money gets paid in royalties to Sean Cunningham, and whatever money gets paid in royalties to, the studios that have their hands in the pot for Jason, that probably is a nice chunk of change. Now, think of all the scripts that were turned in for Friday the 13th Part 2, or whatever you want to call it, the sequel to the remake. All of those people have to be paid some sort of monetary, something for what they did. I don't know if it's a situation where they have to be paid in full for the job going forward, or they just have to be paid for the script for hire sort of deal. But there are things in motion where, those writers get some sort of deal, whether they just sold the script or they have a back end part of it or a chunk of it when it gets put forward. And I think they may have dug their hole way too deep to get out of it. And now them getting slapped with the lawsuit from Victor Miller, it just complicates everything even further. And I think that's why we haven't seen any sort of motion at all.
It's got a death curse.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think all those guys were being paid for their scripts. I mean, a lot of people are asked, whip us up something, and maybe it'll get bought, maybe it won't.
It's a weird situation. I heard Adam Green does a lot of page one rewrites and stuff like that on the side that you don't really hear about. And I heard some of the conversation about the process. And when you get a film that's stuck in developmental hell where there's been multiple versions of the script, it gets to that point where every writer that came before gets some sort of piece of the pie. And at some point it gets to the level where that pie gets so expensive that the studio is just like, we're not even going to fucking bring it out from the kitchen. So it's a real weird situation. I don't know how exactly Paramount handled it, but hearing stories from Adam Green on the Movie Crit podcast and things like that, it becomes a very expensive situation when you have multiple writers hired for the same project.
All right, it's good to know. I didn't know that. All right. Well,
hopefully something changes, because you can't let a franchise like Friday the 13th lay dormant like that. I'm just sorry, it doesn't. You can't do that. You can't let it die.
No, but you got 2 years. It doesn't take more than a couple months to fucking film a Friday the 13th movie, all right? You got 2 years. We want a movie on the 40th anniversary. Again, I'm not kidding, Paramount. I have the story. I have it. You know where to reach me.
Take me with you.
Same with you, Yankee Candle. I'm still waiting. All right. So I think that about wraps it up for horror this week. So let's go ahead and do some geek and comic news. All right. So first up tonight, we have Bill and Ted Face the Music, officially announced. A sequel to Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure. I
Who would have thought?
I do not know how I feel about this. I love the first movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That was a really fun, unique movie. Keanu Reeves was really dumb in it, but is like such a lovable character, and Alex Winter is really great in everything you see him in. But then we got the sequel, which was just not very good, if we're gonna be honest. I mean, it was nice to see George Carlin in some more movies, but I don't know. So reviving this franchise after so long, these typically don't go over so well. A good example would be the Dumb and Dumber sequel. It was, everyone got so excited for it, and at the end of the day, it wasn't that good. So
I thought it was a fun movie, but definitely not as good as the original.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about with this. The original is a great movie, people love it, and that's never gonna change. But unless it's really the story is right, I don't know. I could see this one just falling on its face.
I have been hearing about this film for like probably the better part of 10 years, probably longer. And one of the things that has always been said from at least Keanu's perspective was that they've been trying to get the script right. They've been trying to get it right. And this is another example of one of those situations where they're, just hammering away, trying to find a good way to approach it. And unfortunately, in this situation, time isn't on their side. They're both older men, and they needed an interesting way to kind of like approach it. So I am confident that the script is going to be interesting at the very least, but I don't know what kind of people we're going to be seeing in Bill and Ted as characters. Are they going to be playing middle-aged versions of their dumb selves, or are they going to have grown up and be caught up in their own little worlds and stuff and play far different versions of the characters?
I think they honestly, after I've only seen 2 episodes of it, but I was actually really enjoying it, of the Cobra Kai series.
Yeah, that was surprisingly decent. I don't know where that came from, but I expected it to be awful. But I'm 2-3 episodes in, and I like it.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes were free because I'm not paying for YouTube Red. I'm fucking done with all these subscription services. They can lick my taint at this point. I'm throwing money to 2,000 different fucking companies. All right, I'm done. But I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. It's the same characters, but with some growth behind them, and you see that, and it's like, oh, so reviving these classic 80s franchises can work. And I was wondering if Bill and Ted wouldn't have been better suited as some type of television series.
That's true. I mean, that definitely would have been an interesting approach, but I don't think Keanu's fallen off that much to really be involved in a show. I could be wrong, but like he's been hot on the success of John Wick. From what I hear, it's a great movie, and I think they're filming part 3 right now.
Yeah, but you know what? Being on TV nowadays, being on a television show, isn't an indication of you falling off. I mean, look at how great a lot of these shows are that we're getting, and they typically garner more success and more notoriety than a lot of movies do. I mean, look at The Walking Dead. That's a perfect example.
Right on. I think I said that wrong. What I meant by it was that I don't think Keanu's schedule is really going to be lightening up on the film end of it. So to commit to a full-on television show, he's probably going to have to clear a slate of movies that he's probably poised to make a lot more money on.
Well, I don't care. I would much rather a TV series. So fucking get on.
Logic.
Yeah, so get on that shit, people.
I think that would be cool. And hey, you never know, man. This movie could completely open up the door to it as long as they write it the proper way.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just saying I don't have my hopes high for Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's I'll see it just because, I grew up watching the movies, but I'm going to go in with very, very, very low expectations. So if it's a good movie, I'll be ecstatic.
Shit, if it's a bad movie with low expectations, you're going to love it.
So, speaking of 80s revivals,
Nice dissolve.
What's up?
That's a nice dissolve.
Oh, you finally got it right.
Yes.
Out of left field, do we get news of Rick Moranis coming out of nowhere to reprise the role of Dark Helmet? Now,
what?
Okay, yeah.
Where did this news come from?
And I've actually seen the clip already. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Okay, so I liked it, but first of all, it's obviously not Rick Moranis in the costume, which was a little upsetting.
I was waiting for the helmet to go up.
Yeah, no, I was. He's not in the costume, and I'm guessing it's obviously because it's been 30 years since he played the character, and his voice is going to change. The voice just sounded off to me.
Yeah, I mean, you get older, your voice changes. I mean, like you'll see if you listen to any of his interviews, he's definitely not the same old Rick that we knew from the 80s.
So it was definitely good. I could tell it was him. Oh, excuse me. I could tell it was him, but it just didn't capture the magic of Spaceballs that I was hoping it would.
For me, the magic was the fact that somebody decided, hey, and that would be really funny. We're going to put fucking Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet in an episode of the Goldbergs. Like, this news came completely out of left field, and being with Spaceballs being one of my all-time favorite movies, it's just like, wait, who came up with this, and how could I shake his hand, his or her hand, multiple times till they get a restraining order against me? Because this is absolutely out of left field and amazing at that.
Yeah, again, I'm happy. Maybe this will be an indication that he's going to, pop up in more stuff. And
I got a real kick out of the scene. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a real kick out of the scene when he drops the script of Spaceballs 2.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Maybe that's a foreshadowing?
Maybe. I'm hoping. Mel Brooks needs to stop doing theater and slow his life down enough to get that movie made. He's up there, man.
Yeah, and he certainly looks like he's up there. I mean, he is not aging particularly well. I mean, he fucking looks like yogurt now.
He does. And he was actually just in New Jersey on I want to say Wednesday.
Oh, he was at the Bergen Pack or NJ Pack.
I think it was last Wednesday. He was basically introducing Spaceballs, watching Spaceballs, and doing a Q&A.
Yeah, I remember we were thinking about going to that, but the tickets were pretty pricey.
Yeah, but I always say that I want to go to one of them, even though the prices are up there, because like it's just one of those situations. I mean, like when we met Stan Lee, like bucket list item down. You know, I would love to sit in and listen to Mel Brooks talk for an hour. Like anytime he has a special, it's just him talking about old Hollywood and stuff. Excuse me, immensely interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna start really bugging Gil and Frank to get on that and get Mel Brooks on the show. Because I know he would do it. I bugged them for years to get Patton Oswalt, and it finally happened. I mean, obviously, I don't think I had anything to do with it, so I'm not implying that, but you know, it finally happened, and it was so fucking worth it. Patton Oswalt was on an episode about 2 weeks ago, and it's great. One of my favorite podcasts, as I talk about it all the time. If you haven't listened to this week's episode, they got character actor M. Emmett Walsh. I don't know if you know who that is, Ray.
Not offhand.
All right. This guy was in. He was in a lot of movies. You ever see the movie The Jerk?
Once, I believe.
Oh my God! All right, so you wouldn't remember the character.
Not very well, no.
He plays a lot of like really weird character. Like he's a character actor, so that's what he does. He was in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. God, he was in that awful Will Smith movie Wild Wild West.
I'm sure if I seen a face, I probably could.
Dude, if you heard his voice, he's got a very unique voice, and even as old as he is now, he still sounds the same.
Gotcha.
But for anybody who can't really place him, if you guys have seen The Jerk, he was that iconic character shooting at Steve Martin at the gas station and shooting all the oil cans. Just a fantastic scene, hilarious stuff. So I would say go check out this week's episode. It's very, very good. So yeah, it was really cool to hear his voice again as Dark Helmet. It just didn't feel the same for me. I mean, but it made me feel good, you know.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that was their goal. The fact that, like, that wasn't made for new age fans or anything like that. That was made for people like us that grew up on it. And just like when I saw the article, I think I want to say Nerdist broke it. But when I saw the initial article, I just had this like big ear to ear grin on my face because like, who would have thought that something like that would happen? You know, like we've been wanting a sequel for so many years, and it's the chances of that got slimmer and slimmer, and then this comes out of blue, and you're just like, wow, that's amazing. How do you even like come up with that or go wrong with it?
I don't know, but it works for me, just not in the way I really wanted it to, but it still made me feel good seeing it, and I'm hoping that it's an indication that Rick wants to, you know, start doing things here and there again. He never officially retired. So people who said, wow, he came out of retirement. He never fucking retired, all right? He's done so many interviews about this shit. He never retired. He just took a incredibly long hiatus to raise his kids. There you go. Now he's done this little cameo, and it might open the doors for him to want to go back and do a few other things. Moving on, we got news a couple days ago that we will indeed be getting Rambo 5. Now you're thinking, what else can be done? What else can Rambo do? Well, Rambo can fucking do anything he wants, alright? If you people have seen Rambo 4, you know that we just need more Rambo. Rambo 4 was, like, the sequel nobody wanted, but we desperately needed after we saw it.
Without a doubt. I sat on Rambo 4 for upwards to a year, maybe two, before watching it. And it was one of those situations like, first off, after Rambo 3, do I even want to fucking watch Rambo 4? But like, it was just the one sequel that nobody really gave a shit about. It's like, oh, they're making another Rambo movie. Oh, great. You know, like, and how old is he? Oh, great. But holy fuck, was it amazing?
I'm not even kidding. I hope in another 15 years we're on like Rambo 10, and it's Rambo wreaking havoc and waging war at a fucking retirement home.
Oh my god! With how great Rambo 4 was, I'm down.
That's what I want to see. And I'm not saying that to make fun of the franchise or anything. I absolutely loved Rambo 4. I thought it was just brutality at its finest. Fucking Sylvester Stallone nailed every aspect of that movie. I'm pretty sure he directed it, and it was just so goddamn good. If you guys haven't seen Rambo 4, go check it out. If you're squeamish, probably don't check it out. It is one of the goriest movies I've ever seen. Like,
I wouldn't go that far, but it is definitely brutal.
No, it's pretty goddamn gory. I mean, it's not Dead Alive levels of gore, but then again, Dead Alive, the gore in Dead Alive was kind of comical, especially because a lot of it didn't really look real. Fucking Rambo 4, the gore in Rambo 4 looks pretty serious, man.
You know, it's really funny. Like, just talking about it, I'm like, all right, let's cut this episode short so I can go watch Rambo 4. That's how fucking great that movie is.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. And you go Rambo 1 and Rambo 2, or rather, I should say, First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Oh, nobody calls it that.
And they're both great movies. I love those movies. And then you get Rambo 3, and it's like, oh, well, I guess the franchise is over. And then boom, Rambo 4 comes. You're like, no, it's not. It's back. Well, they did it.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much how everybody felt about it. People were like, "Oh, cool, Rambo, right on," for pure nostalgia's sake. But like when it came to getting off your ass to actually go see it, it was like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with this. This is going to be so bad. His back is probably going to get pulled out." You know, like, no, but it was amazing.
Yeah, you know, it's the same way everyone felt about Rocky 6. Who would have fucking thought Rocky 6 was going to be such a goddamn good movie?
Yeah, I agree. I felt the same way about that too.
It's like, you know, you got Rocky 1 and 2, fantastic movies. You got Rocky 3. It's like, oh, all right, it's okay. And Rocky 4 has its place because it's, you know, America versus Russia. That's always kind of cool stuff. And Dolph Lundgren and, you know, I like Rocky 4. And then you got Rocky 5 and it's just like, oh, well, I guess the franchise is over now. And then Rocky 6 comes and we're back. They did it. They did it. So it happens. I don't know how it keeps happening, but it's happening.
I'm just saying you need to have that reaction for any Sylvester movie going forward.
Yeah, no, I'm not having that reaction if we get Cobra 2, okay? Or
bring it on.
Or what was the arm wrestling movie? Over the Limit? If they do Over the Limit 2, sorry, but yeah, you're not seeing first day theater viewing for me. You know, Cliffhanger 2, yeah, we don't really need that. Demolition Man 2, I'm all in. I am all in. Let's get that made, people. Demolition Man 2. Somehow Simon Phoenix gets put back together, all right? We want more. We want more of everything about that movie. We want more Sandra Bullock. We want more fucking goofy Rob Schneider. Is Glenn Shattuck still alive? He died, didn't he? He did.
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, no. Glenn Shattuck did die. Yeah, he died back in 2010. Anyone who doesn't recognize the name Glenn Shattuck, he played Otho in Beetlejuice, but he was also a prominent character in Demolition Man. A kind of a funny character. But yeah, no, he died. almost a decade ago. But yes, Cobra 2, no. Over the Limit 2, no. Cliffhanger 2, no. Demolition Man 2, yes. Let's get it done. So yeah, we've already been told that in Rambo 5, Rambo will be taking on the Mexican cartel.
Naturally.
Yep, that's it. You don't even fucking need to tell me anything more. That's it. I'm in.
Like you just had to say Rambo 5, and I was good.
Yeah, I am too far in. I can't be any more in on this movie right now. And they had a little like teaser poster for it, just as amazing and effective as the Us poster from Jordan Peele. So good.
Yeah,
so simple.
Really
so simple, but so effective. Teaser posters are just knocking it out of the park in the last month or so. Fucking, it's good to be a movie fan. I tell ya.
And it is.
All right, so let's wind it down here. Last piece of news we got is, since we haven't talked about it at all tonight, Avengers: Infinity War. Fastest.
We rarely talk about that.
I know, right? Fastest movie ever to reach $1 billion. 11 days it took. 11. Fuck.
Yeah, and doesn't look like it's stopping.
Right now, Infinity War is looking at the box office right now and laughing, going, "This isn't even my final form." Fucking, it hasn't even opened in China yet, guys.
Yeah, I mean, people are excited about how much the movie's making. People even saying that it could make upwards to $2 billion, which is fucking blows my mind. But right now, they're sitting at a very respectable $1,226,964,425, which is great for comic book fans, great for Marvel fans. Not so much DC fans, but we're not talking about that tonight.
Yeah, it should pass Black Panther's worldwide take this weekend after it opens in China, which is fucking still in theaters somewhere making money. How is that possible?
Yeah, like who would have ever thought that Black Panther would just have such a life as it has been? We knew it was going to make money, but we didn't know that the lifeline was going to last this long. It came out at DVD, or it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this Friday.
Yeah, it's fucking
it's still in theaters making bank.
Every day I'm seeing like it's still pulling in $1 million or $2 million at the box office.
Yeah, it's nuts, and it's well deserving of it too.
I don't even know what else to say. It's at like $1.3 billion.
Yeah, mic drop.
You know, and we're talking about like a C plus B minus level fucking comic book character. 1.3 billion. What?
Oh yeah.
What?
That's amazing. Like, yeah, you can't go wrong.
Fucking. I don't even know what else to say aside from fucking bring me July. I need July now because I need Ant-Man and the Wasp. I need it. A new trailer got dropped last week. Fuck, it was so good. It was so funny, so clever. This movie is going to... it might beat out Ant-Man as my favorite MCU movie just from this trailer. I was dying. Absolutely dying. So goddamn good.
I'm really excited for it, but not like you're getting ahead of yourself now. I have Deadpool 2 coming out this month, so let me get through that before I start thinking about Ant-Man.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for Deadpool 2, but that trailer just got me excited in all the right places. What can I say?
Are we still doing Deadpool 2? Like, we're gonna get the gang together?
Yeah, I guess. Sounds good to me.
Nice. It's been a while.
I guess we just got to pick a theater.
Up by me.
Yeah, that's free tickets. That's what I'm assuming. I'll probably that day. What I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna go home from work. I'm probably just gonna bring a change of clothes and just head up your way after work.
Yeah, that'll work for me. I know a couple of our buddies are interested, so we'll see how one of them pans out. I know how the others should, so we'll see how everything goes.
So yes, 11 days, $1 billion, and it is still going strong, really strong. And as I said, it opens in China, the second largest movie market in the world, on Friday. So expect another, I'm going to say it's probably easily going to hit about 120, 130 opening weekend in China.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, unless it has one of those weird Star Wars flops, which was bizarre to me. But, you know, like all the signs are pointing toward a very, very strong opening for Infinity War. So I don't think we're going to have that weird problem to deal with.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think Star Wars was ever overly huge in China like Marvel is. Marvel is very big in China.
Yeah, it's just weird being in your own bubble over here, and you're just like, oh my god, Star Wars flopped? Are you kidding me? It's been such a prominent part of everybody's lives for the last 40 years, so it's kind of unfathomable. So luckily, Marvel doesn't seem to have that problem.
Well, right now we're on the way to 2 billion, and I think it's possible. They're gonna have to make a good chunk before Deadpool comes out. But it's definitely within grasp right now, 2 billion. So here's hoping, man. So happy.
It might be weird celebrating billionaires getting more billions, but at the same time, they're giving us basically comic books on screen and things that we've never expected to see, let alone be extremely, basically successful. On the big screen. So like,
it's a win.
Make all the money, and you keep giving me what I want.
Yeah, the more money the Marvel makes right now, the more the fans win. We got into this big discussion on last week's episode. So if you're really curious about how we're feeling about this movie and the success it's garnering right now, go back and listen to last week's episode. It's all about Avengers: Infinity War. We talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, just wait until you've seen it. And then go back, listen to last week's episode. We get into some really good discussions and debates there. It was a really, really good, really fun episode last week.
Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, we were kind of all over the place, but that was because Infinity War was such a massive movie. It was one of those films that you can't stay on the rails when you're talking about it. And by the end of the episode, I thought we tied it together really nicely. So it's definitely worth a listen to.
Indeed. Still trying to get back to the theaters to see it again. I was going to go last night, but I felt like streaming. I hadn't streamed in days. So maybe at some point, maybe I'll catch a matinee.
Hey, let me know. I'm down for number 3. I went to see it on Sunday afternoon, and it was actually pretty packed, which is weird.
Well, no, it's not weird. That's good.
Well, it was weird for my theater where there was 15 people in it the first time I seen it, and then I seen it last weekend in the auditorium theater, and it was mostly full.
Oh, good. Hope those theaters stay full, man. It's just so awesome. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us this week. We covered a lot of good news this week, so hopefully next week has got just as much good news, both on the horror and geek fronts. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Again, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, check that out. And I know we promised episode 4 of MBH 2 weeks ago, but I'm still waiting for a certain graphic from a certain someone.
I've been very, very tired from work, and I had a lot of stuff going on, so I need to basically just hunker down and get it together. And it's good because we're buying ourselves a little time before we record the next batch of episodes, which is going to be under a new format. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll start recording again. I got word today from my contractors that they're going to try to get us back into the house by the end of May. So I could be home in a few weeks, in which case we'll have our real recording space back. So I guess I guess we'll see. But thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Share us out to any of your friends who like horror and geek stuff. We do this every week. Make sure to tune in this Friday, 8 p.m. on the Dead Entertainment YouTube channel. We'll be doing a live commentary of Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead, a.k.a. Gates of Hell. 8 p.m. If you guys don't have the movie, it is available in a couple of areas. Just if you're looking for the movie, you can just shoot me either a message or a comment on YouTube, or shoot me a message over on Twitter, and I'll help you find it. My Twitter is at Bates_MotelMT. Mungus is at Ray Mungus. And make sure you also check out deadentertainment.com. We got some good stuff coming out tomorrow. And my 7 Days of May in May event will be starting in a few days. So guys, please, I usually don't beg like this, but please go check out those articles when they start dropping and share them out. I'm hoping to get a lot of I guess, attention because of this event. And I know you guys are really going to like it. It's going to really showcase some movies people may not know about. So it's going to be some really, really good stuff. And I think that's about it. I still haven't written down all my proper shout-outs. I'm going to do it one day. I say that every week.
I'm going to eliminate the shout-outs altogether and put something else interesting there.
You got anything?
Do I ever?
No, not really.
No. A shout out to me for waking up and doing this. And you too. I'll give you everybody gets one. I'll give you one.
Everybody gets one. All right, guys. So, thank you very much. We will see you Friday night. Dead Entertainment Live Commentary, and we will see you again here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday nights, for Way of Life Live. Thank you again. And remember.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.